Honorable Chair, the objects of the Coffee Amendment Bill 2026 is to amend the Coffee Act of 19 in order to provide a legal framework that will boost coffee production, like I've said, improve market regulation, attract investment, and enhance support for coffee. The proposed amendment to the Coffee Act will also incorporate private sector participation as opposed to what was prevailing in the Principal Act. Honorable Chair, the proposed bill will not have any adverse impact on the day-to-day operations of the Ministry of Agriculture or the operations of the private agricultural enterprises. The Ministry of Agriculture welcomes the Coffee Amendment Bill 2026 as it provides for the effective operations of Coffee Board due to the incorporation of the private sector in the proposed new composition of the board. In conclusion, Honorable Chair, the Ministry of Agriculture supports the proposed amendment to the Coffee Act as the agricultural sector stands to benefit by streamlining the regulatory framework, allowing for a modernized Coffee Board of Zambia and improved oversight of production, curing, and marketing. These reforms promote high-value crop expansion, increase investment, and strengthen sector competitiveness in the agricultural sector. Overall, this amendment showcases a dedication towards better enforcement of regulations to prevent exploitation of farmers, to avoid market disruptions in the agricultural value chain. I submit. If you permit me...
Yes, you can run them concurrently.
Thank you very much. I'll now move to the tobacco, where we have a process of amending the Tobacco Act number 10 of 2022. We believe there is need to strengthen the Principal Act in order to boost tobacco production by attracting more buyers, supporting small and medium-scale farmers, and also fostering investment to contribute towards the economic growth of the country. The revision of the Tobacco Amendment Bill 2026 aims to increase private sector participation in the operations of the board and to improve efficiency in regulating the industry and providing extension services. The bill has now been referred to the Parliamentary Committee, which is your committee, and this memorandum has been prepared to highlight the possible ramifications of the proposed bill for the agricultural sector. Honorable Chairperson, the text of the Tobacco Amendment Bill 2026 are to amend the Tobacco Act number 10 of 2022 in order to provide a legal framework that increases investor confidence, protects growers, and boosts economic contribution of the tobacco, and revise the composition of the board to incorporate private sector as opposed to what was prevailing in the Principal Act. The proposed bill will not have any adverse impact on the day-to-day operations of the Ministry of Agriculture or the operations of the private agricultural enterprises. Honorable Chairperson, the Ministry of Agriculture welcomes the Tobacco Amendment Bill 2026 as it provides for the effective operations of Tobacco Board due to the incorporation of the private sector in the proposed new composition of the Tobacco Board. The Ministry recommends for further review and amendment of the Act to be... Sorry, I withdraw that part. In conclusion, Honorable Chair, Agriculture supports the proposed amendment to the Tobacco Amendment Bill as the agricultural sector stands to benefit from enhanced control over the sector's management and also for the Ministry to streamline decision-making and better align the proposed board with the current sectoral goals. Overall, the amendment showcases a dedication towards better enforcement of regulations to prevent exploitation of farmers, to avoid market disruptions in the agricultural value chain. I submit, Honorable Chair. If you permit me, I can also go to the last one.
Yes.
The last one is where we are witness. As you are aware, the Ministry of Lands has initiated the process of amending the Agricultural Lands Act of 1960. There is need to strengthen the Principal Act in order to ensure that sustainable land management and good governance practices are enhanced and adhered to. The Agricultural Lands Amendment Bill 2026 has been prepared to streamline land administration by modernizing the management of land by making it more efficient. This memorandum has been prepared to highlight the possible ramification of the proposed bill for the agricultural sector. The objects of the Agricultural Lands Amendment Bill 2026 is to amend the Agricultural Lands Act of 1960 and revise the constitution of the board. I think we made an error in our submission. We omitted one or two proposed members. Honorable Chairperson, the proposed bill will not have any adverse impact on the operations of our Ministry of Agriculture or the operations of the private sector in the agricultural sector. The Ministry of Agriculture welcomes the Agricultural Lands Act Amendment Bill 2026 as it provides for the effective administration of boards due to its new composition. In conclusion, Honorable Chair, the Ministry of Agriculture supports the proposed amendments to the Agricultural Lands Act as the agricultural sector stands to benefit from better management of land through the revised composition of the board. Overall, the amendment showcases a dedication towards sustainable allocation of land, allocation and land use as the country aims to increase its agricultural production. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. We may engage Minister of Agriculture or questions or any contributions that you may deem fit before the Minister of Agriculture. PS, removing you as an automatic chairperson for the coffee board. In the current bill now, they want to appoint somebody with knowledge and experience in coffee and agriculture. Well, what is the ministry's position?
Thank you, Honorable Chair and honorable members. You agree with me that coffee production in the country has been declining. And I think last year and the other year, the average production has been 5,000 metric tons. A small country like, a country smaller than us like Vietnam is producing by far more coffee than Zambia. Uganda is doing very well. And we believe that part of the reforms which we need to do is one, how the coffee board is managed and how the coffee sector is managed. We think that as bureaucrats, we remain as providing oversight on the board, but we introduce private sector mentality on the board, and that's why we are in support that now the ministry, which has been an automatic chair, will not be a chair, but will be part of the board. That is the comfort I can give you, but we would want to bring in divergent views and private sector views and mentality so that we can use that mindset change to enhance coffee production in the country.
Yes, thank you. And on the tobacco bill, you are removing from the board representation from the Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry and also representation from the Zambia Environmental Management Agency. Don't you think ZEMA is a very significant stakeholder in the entire value chain?
Just give me 2 minutes.
Yes.
I look at the new composition of the board. Tobacco, agriculture, commerce, finance.
The tobacco board.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Our understanding, Honorable Chair, when you look at the boards and the rationalization which has taken place, was to have as many private sector entities as possible. You realize that we still have the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Commerce, and the Ministry of Finance. Now, this is in a matter to do with board activities. For you to undertake large-scale agricultural activities and for you to undertake large-scale tobacco activities, the Zambia Environmental Management Agency or Authority is still mandated to provide that oversight. So we believe that even by removing them, their mandate will still be sufficient because they will still override and supervise the operations of the tobacco sector. They may not just sit on the board, but we are not saying that by them not sitting on the board, then we have to ignore all environmental concerns. All the procedures have to be taken, but we needed to reduce the number of government institutions and bring in more private sector players so that the government institutions should stick to their mandates, provide oversights and regulations. I submit.
Thank you. On the Agricultural Lands Board, if one recommended that there is need for the chairperson to come from the Zambia National Farmers Union, Zambia National Farmers Union is deemed to be so in enhance the board's operation. What is your feeling as a minister?
It's a very difficult question, but very interesting. As someone coming from the Ministry of Agriculture, definitely I'll support that proposal.
Yes. They said also you've omitted the valuation surveyors in the board.
The problem we have, Honorable Chair, is related to what I had earlier raised. We would want as many government institutions to be on the board, but I believe that lands evaluation, what do you call the department? Valuation department, the representative, will still provide their functions even if they are not on the board. But I think for us to move and improve and start making quick decisions, I think we need to bring in the private sector thinking in our boards. Because if we have too many private sector heavy boards, our bureaucrats, we were designed to follow rules, and I'm not saying they are not supposed to follow rules, but our procedures are too bureaucratic, and we will take those mentalities in the boards. I would suggest that let's bring the private sector mindset in the boards, but the government institutions should continue doing their roles outside the board. I submit.
So if one submitted that there's limited representation from key stakeholders on the Agricultural Lands Bill, you've left out smallholder farmers, women land rights groupings, and local authorities. What would you react to this committee?
Thank you, Chair. For example, on the board, we are going to have a representative of the House of Chiefs. We are going to have a representative of the Zambia Farmers Union, a representative of the Economic Association of Zambia, a representative of a society organization concerned with human rights, land administration, or gender. Now, the problem we have in our country is the proliferation of so many associations. You agree with me that even farmers associations, we may be talking of more than 5 or more than 10. But as a country, we need to be looking at the apex bodies or converging these associations. And we can't have each association representative included on the bill. I think with the summary, for example, I believe that the people will be picked will be eminent people. If, for example, you pick someone from the House of Chiefs, these are people who are conversant with our societies, our communities, how we live in communities, and so on and so forth. So I think what is key is not the institution. What is key is how the people who select to represent are the proposed seats. I submit, Chair.
Yes, but the inclusion of the House of Chiefs, your team, if one said that the House of Chiefs participation within the board is not clearly defined in the bill, what mandate or what role will they play as a House of Chiefs? Did they say it's not clearly defined?
We have two land tenure systems. One is the one administered by the state, the other one administered by the traditional, our Royal Highnesses. And since we're talking about land, I believe that they will bring value to the board. And as you know, much of the land is still under customary. So I may not have a specific answer of what they'll be doing, but looking at the role of our traditional leaders and the House of Chiefs, I think they are relevant, and it is correct that they sit on the board. I don't know whether my colleagues can also come in on that question. Because
the question would be, would they play an advisory role, or would they participate fully in decision making of the board?
Okay.
Honorable Chair, like you've rightly observed, the role of the representative of the House of Chiefs, like PS has indicated, would bring value. For example, if you look at the board is basically offering strategic oversight over the land, agricultural lands administration issues, and like PS indicated, most of this land is still vested in the traditional leaders, and most of the small-scale farmers who come from their respective. So in that respect, I think they'll hold the interest of the smallholder farmers who are their subjects.
In addition, Chair, the role of the board is to provide oversight. And considering that our traditional leaders, they are also presiding over land, they will bring value and experiences from the representative, will bring value and experience to the board, so that as they discharge their functions, they are fully aligned with the current happenings in our country. So.
Yes, honorable members. Yes, honorable Mutacha.
Thank you very much, Chair, for the opportunity. Thank you, PS, for your submissions. PS, indeed, I think these are quite very, very important bills. Once implemented, we hope that they will revolutionize the agriculture sector in this country. I think I'll take you to the tobacco bill. PS, well, there are some concerns that while nomination process exists, unfortunately, in the final selection of those to sit on these on the board entirely remains with the minister, without any independent vetting or even parliamentary approval. So I wanted you to make a comment, because some stakeholders feel that maybe the minister has got a lot of powers, and in the final analysis you find that these decisions may prioritize political gain over long-term sustainability. So I wanted you to comment on that one. And the other one is I think the issue of the tobacco, the steel tobacco board composition. Do you really feel that this composition is really going to address many challenges facing smallholder tobacco farmers? Because research has shown that these tobacco farmers, small-scale farmers, are exploited. You see, especially the tobacco merchants, with those the buyers. You find that sometimes maybe they connive. So do you really feel this composition is really going to address the challenges tobacco farmers are facing? Because the cost of production are quite very high. So these farmers, it's like they are working for nothing. If you compare in the region, you find that in Zimbabwe, the price maybe is $5 per kg, here maybe it's $1. So are you really sure that this composition will really address the plight of smallholder tobacco growers? I thank you.
Yes, you may react to those two concerns, PS.
Thank you very much. I think I'll start from where Honorable Mutayachalo had started, that the minister has too much powers. The minister is in charge of driving policy in the ministry. And before the appointment is made, the act, the legislation which we are discussing now will be law, and it guides the minister where he or she can put the appointees. Now, before they are appointed, these members should have the requisite actions as provided for in the law. Then secondly, these people, before they are appointed, they are vetted. If you look at the Principal Act, it will talk about these people should be qualified, they should be mentally fit, they should not be bankrupt, and a number of other provisions. In addition to that, there is also the vetting, not only by the ministry or the minister, but by other government agencies. So all those measures have been put in to ensure that those excesses which you and me are afraid of are managed. Coming to the issue of whether this composition will be enough, I draw comfort to the fact that we are having a representative on our session representing small-scale tobacco farmers. And under item 21C, there shall be a representative of an association representing small-scale tobacco farmers. Then also, we are having 2 persons from the private sector with knowledge and experience in matters relevant to this act. Honorable Mutayachalo, I'll still go back to the point I mentioned earlier. I think as a country, now I'm just speaking freely, if you can, since I was given the... We need to focus on appointing the right people. This composition is very correct. And if we were to select the right people, we'll get what we want to achieve. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Banda.
Thank you so very much, Chair and PS, for the presentation. I just wanted to find out, because most of the witnesses who came before this committee said they were not consulted when coming up with these amendments. Your comment regarding the consultative processes which were conducted. I thank you.
Yes, PS, your reaction?
Thank you very much. I think consultations have been going on for some time. As Minister of Agriculture, we've been talking to our stakeholders, we've been talking to our associations, the farming groups and the like, and also we have also been consulting within government. Those consultations, I think that one has been adequately been undertaken.
Thank you very much, PS. Yes, Honorable Mutayachalo.
I think just right what PS, what the chair had put forward the issue of our traditional authority, our traditional leaders on the board. I think maybe why some stakeholders were trying to question, to say that they must be properly defined, their roles, because we have seen sometimes our traditional leaders, they have become a stumbling block. For example, even issue of delimitation, it has been a huge challenge. They want their own interests to be addressed at the expense of the majority people. So we just hope that their participation on this particular board will not be bringing some challenges. It's just a concern that I think really their participation properly defined to avoid these challenges, like the delimitation. Some constituencies have been a lot of, wars there. You can't do this, you can't do that. At the end of the day, it's the nation which suffers. That was my submission. Thank you.
Thank you, PS. So it was only a caution that was just to strengthen when coming up with the boards and the membership of those that you put to be part of these boards that you've proposed. PS, your concluding remarks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and Honorable Committee members. My concluding remarks is just to thank you once again for your valued and continued support to the Ministry of Agriculture, and also to reaffirm my commitment of the promise the Minister has given, and to indicate that as soon as all the logistical support is received, we'll get back to you through the Office of the Clerk. I submit, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, PS. So I had conferred upon you Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, which had granted you immunity once we were engaging each other. To withdraw this immunity so that you may continue to save our farmers in all their categories and the nation at large. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much, PS.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
There you have it, the Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources who are considering 4 bills. The just ended witness was the Ministry of Agriculture, who were considering 3 bills: the Tobacco Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2026, and the Coffee Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 36 of 2026, including the Tobacco Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2026. So the Ministry of Agriculture have had their interactions with the Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources, who have been considering those bills. Keep watching Parliament TV as we keep bringing Parliament closer to you.
Hi, I'm Merlin Tuttle, and I'm here to photograph one of our planet's most spectacular wildlife events. Looks like it's about to get going. I better hurry.
These are straw-colored fruit bats, 10 million of them. Their loss could threaten the health of human economies and whole ecosystems across Africa. Kasanka is a stopover site, critical to the survival of the world's largest mammal migration.
Wow, look at all these bats. Incredible.
Their nearly 1 meter wingspans have carried them thousands of kilometers to get here, where each night, from October to December, they take to the sky in search of fruit. Each bat consumes up to twice its body weight nightly, dropping countless seeds across the landscape. Every seed dropped is a potential new tree. But now it's the morning, and they're seeking shelter in the bat forest. Their huge numbers attract predators who are also looking for a meal. But eagles are not the biggest threat to the straw-colored fruit bats. By far, their greatest risk comes from humans.
These bats' contributions to a healthy environment are enormous, almost as large as their appetites. Yet they face serious challenges, and they need our help to survive.
Kasanka National Park is designed around the Kasanka and Musola rivers. They feed the park and the wetland habitats. It's situated in the game management area, which has some development allowed, but then it has a buffer zone which there's no development allowed at all, and it's to buffer the park from the developed areas. The bat forest itself is a Mishutu forest, which is a swamp forest.
This beautiful habitat is cooled by the nearby river. Outside the park boundaries, fruit-laden forests are also essential to provide food for these bats. The combination must be protected.
So the biggest threat is deforestation. In this area, it's mainly for agriculture.
Thousands of hectares of pristine forests have already been cleared to support an illegal game park and industrial agriculture.
This electric fence encroaches illegally on Kasanka Park, severing connected habitat and restricting natural movement of wildlife. Additionally, developers have illegally pumped water from the Luwopa River for irrigation without the required permits, regardless of the impact on the park ecosystems and surrounding communities.
The community benefit direct from the park, one, through employment. Secondly, the revenue that comes from the park goes back to the community. It improves the rural economy and also the living standards of people. If we cut trees, we are not going to have bats.
Good morning. Thursday is the day today on Parliament TV. We take you back to the Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources, who are considering 4 bills. We've had the Ministry of Agriculture as the first witnesses of today. Then we do expect the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to have their interaction with the Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources. My name is Chashinsha Usenga. My sign language interpreter is Chola Kaoma. Keep watching Parliament TV.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, PS and the team. I'm Banda Kreo, Member of Parliament for Vubwi and a member of this committee. Welcome.
Yes, Secretariat.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Michael Chilala from the Office of the Clerk.
Yes, PS, you may introduce yourselves.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, honorable members of the committee. My name is Patrick Mcheleka, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. I'm accompanied by my colleagues from the Ministry. With your permission, Chair, let me ask my colleagues to introduce themselves, starting with my immediate left.
Good morning. I'm Pumulo Mundale, Chief Registrar.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of Parliament. My name is William Nyundu, Director Planning and Information.
Good morning, Chair, and members of the committee. My name is Kelvin Chibangola. I'm Assistant Surveyor General. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, and the rest of the committee members. My name is Lambwe Mwanza, Principal Legal Officer.
Thank you very much, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. I'm Michael Katambo, MP for Masait Parliamentary Constituency, and I'm the Vice Chairperson of this committee. So, PS, you are presenting the Agricultural Lands Amendment Bill number 31 of 2026 and the Land Survey Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2026. So before you make your submission, allow me to confer upon you Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, which grants us Parliament immunity against prosecution for what we say while in the House or indeed outside or before the courts of law. So PS, this immunity will enable you to deliberate with the committee freely, truthfully, so that at least the committee might be able to make well-defined recommendations. I have no doubt, PS, that you will ever mislead this committee, but you will choose to be factual and truthful in your submission. So PS, you may submit your submission. Is 15 minutes okay with you?
Obliged, Chair.
Thank you, PS. You may go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, honorable members of the committee. As guided by the Chair, I'll start with the Agricultural Lands Amendment Bill of 2026. Honorable Chair, just to give a bit of introduction or background, agricultural land remains one of Zambia's most critical national resources, underpinning food security, economic growth, employment creation, and rural development. Effective administration of agricultural land is therefore essential to ensuring sustainable development and attracting local and foreign investment. The Agricultural Land Act, Cap 187, has historically provided framework for the administration of agricultural land through the Agricultural Lands Board. However, changing socio-economic dynamics, increasing demand for land, and the need for inclusive governance have highlighted the necessity to modernize this framework. The Agricultural Lands Amendment Bill 2026 has been introduced as part of the government's broader efforts to strengthen land governance, improve institutional effectiveness, and align the administration of agricultural land with contemporary national priorities. Chair, talking about the Agricultural Lands Amendment Bill, the key provisions of the bill include: 1, the bill introduces the definition of the House of Chiefs, ensuring consistency with the Constitution and reinforcing the recognition of traditional leadership in land governance. B, reconstitution of the Agricultural Lands Board. The bill significantly strengthens the composition of the board by introducing a diverse and balanced membership structure. The board will include 1. The chairperson from the private sector with relevant expertise. 2. Representatives from key government ministries responsible for lands and agriculture. 3. A representative of the Attorney General. 4. A representative of the Zambia National Farmers Union. 5. A representative of the Economic Association of Zambia. A representative of the House of Chiefs. 7. A representative of civil society. 8. Private sector expert with experience in finance and human resettlement. Honorable members of this committee, this structure ensures that the board benefits from the wide range of perspectives, including policy, legal, economic, traditional, and community-based insights. The bill strengthens the appointment process. Chair, the bill provides for institutional nominations and presidential appointments, enhancing transparency, accountability in the selection of board members. Improved operational efficiency. By setting the quorum at 5 members, the bill ensures that the board can conduct its business efficiently and avoid delays in decision-making. Chair, the rationale for the reforms. The reforms introduced by the bill are both timely and necessary. They respond directly to the need for A, inclusive land governance. The incentives from farmers, traditional leaders, civil society, and the private sector ensures that all key stakeholders are involved in decision-making processes. B, enhanced policy coordination. Bringing together institutions from different sectors promotes better alignment between agriculture policy, land administration, and economic planning. C, recognition of customary land systems. The inclusion of the House of Chiefs strengthens the integration of customary land considerations into national land governance. D, promotion of investment and economic growth. The private sector representation introduces practical experience and market-oriented perspectives, which are essential for promoting agricultural investment and productivity. E, balanced and representative decision-making. The diverse composition of the board reduces the risk of narrow decision-making and ensures that decisions reflect a broad national interest. Honorable Chair, the impact of the proposed bill. The Agricultural Lands Amendment Bill 2026 represents a progressive and of the agricultural land governance framework. By broadening representation and strengthening institutional arrangements, the bill will, among other things, promote accountability in land administration, enhance coordination among key stakeholders, support agricultural productivity and investment, ensure that land governance reflects the needs of all stakeholders, including rural communities and traditional authorities. The reforms are expected to contribute significantly to improved land management outcomes and national development. Honorable Chair, with your permission, on the conclusion, the Agricultural Lands Amendment Bill 2026 is well conceived and necessary reform that strengthen the governance of agricultural land in Zambia. By reconstituting the Agricultural Lands Board to include a wide range of stakeholders, the bill promotes inclusivity, enhances decision-making, and aligns land administration with modern governance principles. The bill should therefore be fully supported, Honorable Chair, as it provides a strong foundation for efficient, transparent, and sustainable of agricultural land, which is essential for Zambia's economic growth and development. I submit, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. The next bill.
Chair, with your permission,
yes.
Again, let me outright go to the next submission on the land survey amendment bill number 12 of 2026.
Yes, yes.
Honorable Chair, honorable members of this committee, the land surveying profession plays a critical role in national development through the provision of accurate geospatial data for land administration, infrastructure development, and resource management. Reliable survey data underpins land tenure security, infrastructure planning, investment decisions, and sustainable land use. The government has, in recent years, undertaken reforms aimed at modernizing land governance systems and aligning them with international best practices. However, a review of the Land Survey Act, CAP 188, has revealed gaps in institutional governance, regulatory effectiveness, technical representation, and decision-making bodies. In response, the Land Survey Amendment Bill number 12 of 2026 has been introduced. The bill primarily seeks to revise the composition of the Survey Control Board and provide for matters connected with or incidental to that provision. Honorable Chair, the object of the bill. The object of the bill is to amend the Land Survey Act so as to revise the composition of the Survey Control Board and provide for matters connected with or incidental to the foregoing. Composition of the Control Board. The bill ensures adequate representation from the private sector. The number of board members does not exceed 11, and ensures adequate national representation. Key amendment to the bill, Honorable Chair. The bill amends Section 6 of the Principal Act by reconstituting the Survey Control Board. Under the proposed amendment, the bill will consist of the following members appointed by the Minister. 1, a chairperson who shall be a registered land surveyor with at least 10 years. 2, a representative of the ministry responsible for lands. 3, a representative of the Attorney General. 4, a representative of the House of Chiefs. 5, a representative of the Zambia Institute of Planners. 6, a representative of the Law Association of Zambia. 7, a representative of the Zambia Institute of Estate Agents. 8, a representative of the civil society organization dealing with land advocacy, environmental protection, or gender. 9, a representative of the religious organization. And 10, 2 persons in the sector with knowledge and experience in land management. With your permission, Chair, the conclusion. The Land Survey Amendment Bill number 12 of 2026 represents an important reform aimed at restructuring the Survey Control Board and enhancing stakeholder participation in land governance. Honorable Chair, honorable members of the committee, I submit.
Thank you very much, PS. Honorable members, any clarity, questions, or contributions? Yes, our understanding is that these two bills, they are aiming at enhancing private sector participation. But if one bemoaned the omission of the Zambia Institute of Valuation Surveyors, what would be your reaction?
Chair, as I respond, I'll ask my colleagues that I've come with to also help me respond to some of the questions that, or clarifications that may arise from this committee.
Yes.
Honorable Chair, if you look at the composition, we have tried to indicate the institutional representatives.
Yes.
And I may have to respond that perhaps, if at all there's a feeling or suggestion that there could be other stakeholders that could be taken on board, we are open to those suggestions, Chair, as further other witnesses come to submit before you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Does it sit well with you as Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, where your Surveyor General now is just an ex-officio? Before, he was the chairperson of the board.
Honorable Chair, the Surveyor General is currently the chairperson of the Survey Control Board,
yes,
and is also a member of staff within the ministry. As seen from our submission, we are talking about enhancing good governance, and in this particular case, we are proposing that the chair should come from outside.
Yeah, from the private.
That is aimed at enhancing transparency, accountability, and indeed as part of really enhancing good governance in land administration.
Thank you, PS. Honorable Mtacha.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair, for this opportunity. Thank you, PS, for your submissions. PS, we are alive to the fact that the majority of our farmers who are involved in activities are small-scale farmers. And some stakeholders who have appeared before this committee, they have highlighted the one concern, especially on the Agriculture Land Amendment Bill, that the small-scale farmer are not represented fully. Although there is a representative from the Zambia Nation Farmers Union, they are saying that not all small-scale farmers are members of Zambia National Farmers Union. I wanted to hear your comment on that one. Thank you.
Thank you, PS. You may go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And the question that Honorable Mtacha has asked is indeed relevant. We have proposed a representative of the Zambia National Farmers Union, and from where we stand, we are of the view that ZNFU represents a broad section of farmers. I know that ZNFU has a category of different types of farmers: commercial, small scale, agriculture. But basically, I mean, small scale farmers, most of them, as Honorable Mtacha indicates, in the rural parts of the country. But I know that in those areas they have chapters. Zambia National Farmers Union has chapters in almost quite a number of districts. But however, if they still view that small scale farmers, who I know might also be having their own apex organization, as we said, as others submit, the committee who will be able to make the final decision should perhaps remain receptive to other views that may come from different stakeholders with regard to how the composition should be.
Thank you very much, PS. Yes, we were joined by one of your staff. Maybe you may introduce.
With your permission, Honorable Chair, sincere apologies for my colleague. We had other issues we are dealing with at the office. Let me allow him to introduce himself.
Chair, my full name is Angonga Jonathan from Legal Department and the Minister of Lands.
Thank you very much.
Chair.
PS, your concluding remarks.
Honorable Chair, honorable members of the committee, is just to sincerely thank you for the opportunity that you have given us to make this the two respective submissions, and we are hopeful that our submission will receive the committees and the other members of the Parliament's support. I submit, Chair. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, PS and your staff. Be rest assured that we will definitely support these progressive bills. And before you engaged us, I had conferred upon you immunity according to Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia. Allow me to withdraw this immunity so that you remain lands and natural resources and carry out your national duties on a daily basis. Thank you and have a blessed day.
National Assembly Bill number 31 of 2026, the Coffee Amendment Bill, National Assembly
Zambia, a jewel in the center of Africa. Offering a wide diversity of fauna and flora. Zambia's national parks are waiting to welcome you. The Luangwa River is the lifeblood of the South Luangwa National Park. In the dry season, inland pools and lagoons dry up, and the river remains the only permanent source of drinking water in the valley. A wide variety of grazers are forced to share the riverbank, in an uneasy truce with the resident predators. For tourists, these extreme conditions offer one of the greatest concentrations of game in all of Africa. In addition to antelope, the park is well known for its huge herds of elephant and buffalo. South Luangwa National Park can also boast of the highest number of hippos per square kilometre in Africa. As the river recedes, these giants jostle for space in the deep water. And when disaster strikes, reptilian scavengers are more than ready to capitalize on the feeding opportunities. But crocodiles are not fussy eaters and will happily join the numerous waterbirds in cross-species fishing parties. Pelicans, storks and herons exploit the shallow water for an easy meal. If the action dries up at the pools, there will be plenty happening at the riverbank, where the vividly coloured carmine bee-eaters make their homes. In Luangwa, you are not confined to the range of the game vehicles. Walking safaris were pioneered in the park and offer an up-close and personal wilderness experience. When the rains arrive, the Luangwa Valley is transformed. Although largely inaccessible to visitors, it's a boom time for the animals that can leave the crowded river for private inland sanctuaries. But when the seasons turn, they will once again be drawn back to the Luangwa River. Fittingly dubbed one of the greatest wildlife sanctuaries in the world.
person is born free. And it's a land of peace, a love and unity. This land, Zambia, land of the strong, home of the brave. Our land, Zambia, free men we stand. In this land, beauty all around. There is no other. Love like a mother's love for her child. Oh, there's nobody gonna take our peace away. They're gonna take what is meant for all to share. This land, Zambia, land of the strong, home of the brave. Our land, Zambia, free men we stand. In this land, I believe the better days are surely coming, and I believe that we can make it through this night if we lay pride aside, put trust in God. Learn to love each other. You my sister, you're my brother. Right or wrong, together we are stronger. So don't let nothing tear us apart. Zambia, land of the strong, home of the brave. Our land, Zambia, free men we stand. This land, Zambia, land of the strong, home of the brave. Our land, Zambia, free men we stand. This land, Zambia, land of the strong, home of the brave. Our land, Zambia, free men we stand. In this land.
Parliament is open to members of the general public who may wish to undertake familiarization tours of Parliament buildings, either in groups or as individuals, or to attend sittings of the House or parliamentary committees. All those wishing to visit Parliament can either write to the Clerk of the National Assembly of Zambia or simply come to Parliament buildings. Upon arrival at Parliament buildings, visitors are required to identify themselves. A passport or national registration card is required for identification purposes. All visitors to parliamentary premises are required to wear smart attire, either office or casual wear. Before gaining access to the galleries, all visitors are oriented and issued with passes by the Security Department at the Media and Visitors Center. Those whom permission is granted to sit in the galleries will be ushered to the appropriate galleries by protocol officers. Furthermore, visitors are not allowed to take with them into the galleries such articles as walking sticks, umbrellas, briefcases or parcels of any type, newspapers, magazines or cell phones. All such articles must be deposited at the reception desk. Visitors to the galleries are given copies of the order paper, which shows the order in which the business of that particular day would be taken. You can follow all parliamentary sessions and committee sittings on GoTV Channel 28, Topstar Channel 5, DSTV Channel 272, Parliament Radio, or like the National Assembly of Zambia Facebook page.
Weeks after the official launch of the Institute for Parliamentary Studies and Training, a new chapter in leadership development is already taking shape. Prospective parliamentarians from diverse backgrounds gathered with a shared purpose to prepare themselves for the responsibilities of public service and national leadership. The prospective parliamentarians training, organized by the Institute for Parliamentary Studies and Training in collaboration with the Zambia Center for Inter-Party Dialogue, marked a significant step towards strengthening democratic governance by equipping future leaders with the knowledge, skills and values required to serve effectively in Parliament. During the official opening of the training, National Assembly of Zambia Acting Deputy Clerk Administration, Mr. Sage Samwika, said that the program was aimed at strengthening democratic governance and underscored the institution's commitment to equipping prospective parliamentarians with the knowledge, skills and ethical foundation needed to uphold democratic principles.
Parliament plays a critical role in our democracy through lawmaking, oversight and representation. However, the effectiveness of Parliament depends largely on the preparedness, integrity and the competence of those that serve within it. So therefore, this is the reason why we have arranged this training for the aspiring members of Parliament. Allow me to commend the Institute for Parliamentary Studies and Training and the Zambia Center for Inter-Party Dialogue for organizing this program. It reflects a strong commitment to strengthening democratic governance and promoting informed participation in parliamentary processes. I've perused through your program and I must say that it's quite detailed, and it is our sincere hope that you'll be able to engage actively. Please ask as many questions as possible so that you take full advantage of the resource persons that have been identified to run you through this program. Let me also mention that it's a full-day program, and at the end of the program, you'll be given a certificate, which you'll be able to, add to your CV. And we wish you every success, even as you aspire, and much more as you aspire for public office. I think the key ingredients of integrity are very important, even as we go through this process.
Participants were taken through a series of presentations designed to build a solid foundation in parliamentary knowledge and practice. The first session was delivered by Mr. Tenson Nyangu, Head, Institute for Parliamentary Studies and Training, who provided an in-depth presentation on understanding Parliament, its role, mandate, and constitutional responsibilities.
What the role of the MP is legally. What is a member of Parliament required to do under the Constitution? Article 62 says there is established the Parliament of Zambia, which shall consist of the President and the National Assembly. The legislative authority of the Republic is vested in and exercised by Parliament. A person or body other than Parliament shall not have power to enact legislation except as conferred by this Constitution. So basically what this provision is saying is that Parliament is supreme when it comes to lawmaking. No other body other than Parliament can legally make laws, except if the Constitution confers that power on a subordinate authority. Legislature, make laws. Executive, enforce them. And this is why we have law enforcement agencies under the executive. Enforce the laws that are made by the legislature. Judiciary, check these laws. Because one of the things that is common or likely to happen is that the legislature may pass laws that infringe on the rights of citizens. And the executive will enforce them. So the judiciary must come in and say, no, this law contravenes the framework which the people gave. So we are quashing it. And so these three branches check on each other's powers. And that is why we have that setup. Now, when it comes to the role of members of parliament or the National Assembly, again, I read basically two that are reflected in the Constitution. It says, Parliament shall enact legislation through bills. So the primary role of Parliament is to legislate. In other words, make laws.
This was followed by a presentation by Mr. Charles Hambote, National Assembly of Zambia Director Social Committees, who highlighted the work of a Member of Parliament. In his presentation, Mr. Charles Hambote provided practical insights into the day-to-day responsibilities of a Member of Parliament, emphasizing that the role extends far beyond attending parliamentary sittings.
Parliament is the sole body that has been given the power to pass legislation. No other person, no other body can pass legislation apart from Parliament. This is a constitutional provision in Article 62. But in the conduct of its business, Parliament has come up with its own rules and procedures. I'm sure you've heard or you've seen during the proceedings of Parliament where they are referring to standing orders, blah, 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 rules of Parliament. So those standing orders, rules of Parliament, are emanating from a provision in the Constitution which has given power to Parliament to make rules for the proper conduct of its business. Those are the standing orders. There are rules for conduct, for procedure and practice, how to conduct yourselves as members of Parliament, how business is conducted, how bills are passed, how motions are passed, and so on and so forth. So those are the rules and that emanate from the Constitution. Now, let's look at composition of the National Assembly. Currently, we have a total of, first of all, let me say, our Zambian Parliament is unicameral, meaning it is just one body. Unlike if you go to other jurisdictions, you find there is what they call the lower chamber, upper chamber, the House of Lords, House of Representatives, and so on. Here we only have one body. So we are called a unicameral parliament.
The sessions were followed by interactive discussions where participants engaged facilitators, seeking clarification and sharing insights on the role and responsibilities of members of Parliament. Prospective parliamentarians were awarded certificates of participation in recognition of their completion of the program, aimed at strengthening their understanding of parliamentary work and democratic governance. After the training, participants expressed appreciation for the knowledge and skills gained. Mr. Mulemwa Collins Njekwa talked about what motivated him to enroll in the training as a prospective parliamentarian.
What motivated me mostly to come to enroll for the training is to get a better understanding on the roles of an MP as I aspire to go into Parliament in September this year. It's a very, very, very educative program. I actually encourage most of the some of those the aspiring candidates that haven't attended to attend. We've learned a lot. We've learned about ethics, the do's and don'ts of an MP. We've learned the roles of an MP. We've actually learned everything that is expected of an MP. So I will walk out of this training as a better person, as a better aspiring candidate.
Bishop Dr. Friday Katombi said that the opportunity meant a lot to him, both personally and professionally.
I'm well equipped after this training, and I'll know how I'm going to actually engage the electorate there. It has prepared me to understand the real work of an MP. You see, most of the time we fail to realize and understand what is the work of an MP. And therefore, going back there, I'm very prepared. I know what I'm supposed to do as an area member of parliament. I understand which is the real and the unreal work of an area member of parliament. And I want to encourage everyone that would want to actually participate in an election as member of parliament to come and be part of this training. It will actually make you analyze yourself and understand whether you are ready for it or not. Because sometimes we might think you are ready for the position of an MP when you are not, because you need to understand what is the real work. And this is what the training has done.
Another participant, Dr. Malcolm Chioba, said that the training had prepared him to effectively represent the interest of his constituents.
Been privileged to be in this training today that has taught us a lot of things. Very comprehensive, a very practical way of presenting the training to adult learners. And I think a few things that I'll be thinking concerning what I've experienced now is that I'll go back better informed as I engage the electorates. And probably a suggestion that this becomes mandatory for everybody. But if it can become mandatory for everybody wanting to stand and they undergo this kind of training, it would help us a lot in improving the quality of debates and presentation in Parliament. And maybe the other thing is to just encourage everybody that is yet to undergo this training, wherever this team is going to go and train people to avail themselves, because it will change a lot of dynamics. It help them also understand the expectations and the way they should behave, when they're elected members of parliament.
Dr. Mwaka Nyirenda said that the training had enhanced her understanding of the role of a parliamentarian.
This has been a very, very enlightening training. We have been equipped. It has been thought-provoking. And I loved the lecturers. They were very knowledgeable. The moderator was excellent. And it was just good also to interact with my fellow aspiring candidates. Nobody is the sole proprietor of knowledge. And so when you hear other people speaking, you learn even from the questions. So it has been very fruitful. Very well worth it, well worth the time. Didn't feel bored at all. It was very, very engaging. Every topic we were learning something. And for me, what really has transformed me is really understanding the role of a member of parliament. Because when you are aspiring in the constituency, you're like the police chief, you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you're like an everything. But this training helped us to really streamline exactly who we are and what we are supposed to be to the constituents.
The training for prospective parliamentarians provided key insights into the role of parliament and the responsibilities of members of parliament. Through presentations, discussions, and participant reflections, the training was described as insightful and instrumental in strengthening democratic governance and preparing participants for effective representation.
The constituency development funds increased from 1.6 million kwacha in 2021 to 28.3 million kwacha from 25.7 million kwacha in 2022 national budget, was unprecedented in the history of Zambia and was a manifestation of the government's resolve to push developments to all corners of this country. Today on the CDF program, we tour Kawata constituency to appreciate how the constituency development funds is being utilized. Kawata, just like other constituencies, has benefited from the funds and has seen the construction of a number of projects. One of the projects is the construction of the 1x3 classroom block at Kamwala Primary School at a cost of 894,000 kwacha. Kawata Member of Parliament, Mr. Andrew Taengwa, highlights some of the projects taking place in his constituency.
The construction of the 1x3 classroom block actually started 2 weeks ago, so we are actually on schedule. Then the issue of expanding, and let me make it clear to everyone that I'm not going to commission a 1x3 classroom block without any desks. That we've agreed, and the procurement of desks is actually it's an ongoing process. I was told that by first week of July we should be receiving. We've managed to procure almost about 3,500. So we'll be able to cater for a number of schools within the constituency. We are targeting the deadline that we were given by the head of state that come December 2023, no child should be able to sit on the floor. So we are on course. The desks will be given out to most of these schools. Going forward, of course, with the increment of the CDF, you'll be able to see a number of projects popping up, especially in Lilai under Kamlanga Ward. You'll be able to see a number of projects in schools and markets, and of course the issues of drainages and also the roads. I've checked that Kamlanga Ward is the least developed ward, and we want to ensure that we work on the roads. Then also within Kamlanga Ward in Lilai, we are also planning to put the first ever skills training center for our learners. That skills training center, we should be able to start it next year under the Constituency Development Fund.
And Kamwala Primary School Deputy Head Teacher, Mrs. Edith Pangani, explains how the construction of the 1x3 classroom block will cushion the overcrowding of pupils in classrooms, and was quick to highlight other needy areas.
The project that is taking place here at Kamwala Primary School under CDF is the building of the 1x3 classroom block. This project has started this term, and it is really running at a fast rate. Everything has started this term, but we also have other projects that would love to have taken place, like the completion of the school hall, and also the desks. We are really short of desks. As you know, the catchment area for our school is the area that is highly populated, and the demand from the community is very high. And with the coming of the free education, all the learners that were in the community want to come to school, and most of them have been absorbed in the school. Now what we need are the desks on top of what is happening. The building of the 1x3 classroom is a very good project because it will answer to the demands of the community.
Chilenje Level 1 Hospital is one of the biggest health facilities in Kawata constituency, and the constituency has approved the construction of an ablution block, which is nearing completion. Mr. Taengwa explains why the constituency settled for the ablution block at the facility.
We had challenges with especially the patients and also the staff. They were complaining in terms of toilet facilities at the clinic. So we had to take it upon ourselves as leaders to say, let's try and see how best we can put up an ablution block. That's what we've done. The total cost for that ablution block is coming to about 394, if I'm not mistaken. Then 374, if I'm not mistaken. Then also I'm sure you've seen the works that have been done. We've done almost close to about 95% anytime soon. Immediately the certification again from council comes, the contractor will be able to hand it over to us then so that we can give it to the community. So far, in terms of the works, But I think the contractor is right on time. I haven't seen any delays from his part. And in terms of payment, we've been on course also giving him some money. I'm sure he's just waiting for a certain amount of money. I'm told last week he was paid. So immediately when he receives the money in his account, probably we'll see some works to be done so that we finish the whole project.
And Ms. Monde Muyambango is a nursing officer at Challenge Level 1 Hospital and talks about the progress of the ablution block.
Project we have under CDF now, it's we are trying to come up with the ablution block for both male and female. It's a 2-in-1. As you can see behind, it's a 2-in-1. At the moment, I think we need to look at we have a pathway. We need to put pavers. As you know, our ground, the other side heading to the small gate is quite bad. We need pavers there. And also, would love to have incinerators. Yes, the one we have is functional, but it's not adequate. Even the issue of autoclave, we really have a very, very big challenge. That's it's a big project, and as a facility, I don't think we can manage to buy an autoclave, especially. We need it like today.
Another project that has benefited from the allocation of Kawata constituency development funds is the Livala market in Livala ward. The market has received 146,756 kwacha, 55 ingwe, to undertake maintenance works at the market. Mr. Sililo Wamulome is market advisor committee member. Explains some of the maintenance projects being undertaken at the market.
Some of the CDF projects that are doing this market, they are maintaining drainage, lights at the vegetables stand here, and the toilet that side, and the gutter. So far, the lights are okay, toilets are okay, gutters are okay, but the challenge we have here is those people making drainages. They are too slow. So they have blocked these drainages. The water, they can't flow to go to the main drainage. That's the challenge we have.
After Livala Market, the crew left for Michael Chilufyasata Health Post, where a mother's shelter is being built using CDF. And Kawata Member of Parliament, Mr. Andrew Taengwa, expressed happiness at the progress made so far.
We have done most of the works. I think what is remaining is just about 98% complete. 2% is what is remaining. And we're waiting for the council to come and do the certification so that we can know where we are standing. Then thereafter, probably they will be able to, the contractor will be able to handle the project to the community or to us so that we can hand it over to the community. The total cost for this project is about 210,000 kwacha, if I'm not mistaken. Then the completion period, what we had agreed in the contract is it 8 weeks? And they have done almost 8 weeks, so anytime they should be handing it over to us so that we can hand it over to the community. Basically, they are on time. I think we haven't seen any delays from the contractors. The contractor himself and what he has done, I think marvelous works, except maybe 1 or 2 things that maybe probably the engineers will need to come on site and guide us whether what he was doing is correct. But so far, so good.
Lelai Primary School is one of the schools in Kawata constituency which has received constituency development funds for the construction of a boundary wall fence. Mr. Taengwa gives an overview of the wall fence project at the school.
This is a project that was approved many months ago under the 2021 Constituency Development Fund. It's basically working on the wall fence for Lelai Primary School. We've done almost 95 or 96%. What is remaining is just a few portion where we are trying to resolve the issue of the boundary dispute with the church. But going forward, I'm sure anytime soon, if that can be resolved, then we'll be able to complete. But so far, the works that have been done, they're not bad, but I think the contractor needs to do a good job. If he's to be given some other works, I think I will need to move and see exactly what he's doing. because we need supervision from the council. I think what we have seen is that most of these engineers at the council, they are not moving on site to check what is happening because people are just busy constructing without them doing the monitoring.
Apart from constructing perimeter wall fence at Lilai Primary School, Mr. Tahengwa highlights some of the needy areas that need attention in Kamulanga of Lilai area.
Teachers' houses, we have some teachers' houses that are either occupied by those that either would have retired. And also I think I've seen that they have enough land for us to expand the housing unit for the teachers. So going forward, of course, with the increment of the CDF, you'll be able to see a number of projects popping up, especially in Lilai under Kamulanga Ward. You'll be able to see a number of projects in schools and markets, and of course the issues of drainages and also the roads. I've checked that Kamulanga Ward is the least developed ward, and we want to ensure that we work on the roads. Then also within Kamulanga Ward in Lilai, we are also planning to put the first ever skills training center for our learners. That skills training center, we should be able to start it next year.
He further thanked Parliament Television for showcasing some of the developmental projects taking place in Kabwata constituency using constituency development funds.
Thank you as Parliament TV. We appreciate that you are able to come to our constituency and beam the projects that we are doing and showcase to the people outside there so that they can know that truly indeed the CDF is working in Kabwata constituency.
He further acknowledged the critical role the constituents office plays in making sure that the administrative work regarding CDF is handled in a manner that benefits all members of the constituency.
The role of the constituency office, especially in Kabwata constituency, is to help the citizens, the residents who live within Kabwata, to understand that this is an office that is able to work with the community. Once the community identifies those projects using the ward development committees, then they are able to forward those some of the projects that they have identified within the constituency to the office of the area member of parliament, so that we can see how best we can act on them. So basically the office of the member of parliament is there to work hand in hand with the community. But if we leave out the community, we start doing things, at the end of the day people will not be able to appreciate the many works and many projects that we'll be able to implement, because we did not go to the people to consult them. So basically our office is there for consultation. Our office is open for the community they are out there to come up and interact with the office of the area member of parliament so that they can know what is happening in the constituency.
The tour of constituency development funded projects in Kabwata constituency has provided an opportunity for increased community engagement and participation in decision-making processes. And local communities are actively participating in identifying developmental priorities, proposing projects and monitoring the implementation of initiatives funded by constituency development funds.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of Insight into Parliamentary Committees. In this episode, we turn our focus to a committee that plays a vital role in promoting accountability at the grassroots level. This is the Committee on Local Government Accounts. This committee is responsible for ensuring that local authorities manage and spend public funds effectively by ensuring that every kwacha delivers real benefits to the communities it's meant to serve. The chairperson of the Committee on Local Government Accounts and Member of Parliament for Chasefu, Mr. Mishek Nyambose, will help us better understand the work of this committee. He begins by explaining his role as the chairperson of the Committee on Local Government Accounts.
Being chairperson of the Local Government Accounts Committee, and the role of the chairperson is to moderate the debates so that it flows accordingly, give opportunity to the members of parliament or members of the committee to make interventions, manage the timings of their interventions, and also give an opportunity to the witnesses. In this case, for us, normally our witnesses are the local authorities. They appear before us and looking at the report that is presented to us, in this case the AG's report, Auditor General's report. So my role as a chairperson is to moderate, to ensure that meetings take place also on time. We convene and ensure that the meetings are concluded on time. As you are aware that our committee is quite one of the biggest committees, big in the sense that we look at two reports: the operations accounts for the councils, and also we look at the CDF report. So you find that dealing with 116 councils, local authorities, within a short period of time, it is not easy. So it is the role of the chairperson to ensure that we meet the target and also we do justice to the report, not just running through, but ensuring that all what is being exposed is really looked into for the benefit of the Zambian people and for the benefit of the councils themselves, the people in these local authorities, where these councils are coming from. So it's, for me, I'm enjoying as a chairperson, and also I'm at Parliament here. I'm chairing for the first time. I've been a member of the Local Government Accounts Committee. I was also a member of the Delegated Legislation. Now then, the name was changed of that committee. So I was just a member. But now chairing has not been easy, but I want to appreciate the team that I have, the team of members of Parliament. And the majority of them, we were together from 2022.
He now outlines the overall mandate of the committee, which is to examine the financial performance of local authorities and ensure that public resources are managed and used appropriately at the local level.
The mandate of this committee is to provide oversight on the operations of the councils. Generally, council operations, looking at how councils are managing resources. They are generating resources, which we call locally generated resources, revenues, and if they are providing the services and whatever activities the councils are undertaking. It is our role to ensure that there is prudence in the utilization of resources and ensuring that all resolutions or decisions made by councils are implemented. These are checked by Auditor General's office, which check whether there is compliance. So our role is to ensure that the things in the local authorities are running correctly. If they are undertaking a project, using local government equalization fund, which is coming from government, even from their local resources, they generate money. Are they paying, for instance, statutory obligations like payments to statutory bodies? Are they paying retirees? Are they paying salaries to workers? So once that report comes, it is our role to ensure that there is compliance, and find out and interrogate the councils as to why they are not following regulations which are stipulated by the government through the Ministry of Law, Government and Housing, and also any other body, maybe Secretary to Cabinet, or maybe Cabinet Office in short, and also the Law Government Service Commission. The other role that we play is on the CDF. Now that's the big thing now that has come on board. Why do I say big thing? Because it's the first time that the government of the Republic of Zambia, government of the day now, from 2022, they released a lot of money to councils. And this is I can say, a shift change from previously. Councils had little to do. But the moment the New Dawn administration took over power, there was that shift to say councils should be giving a lot of money and should be identified as a channel for developing the communities. So the New Dawn government brought a lot of money. So this money, you know where there's too much money coming for the first time. There's some temptation for abuse, people wanting to personalize or to do opposite of what the government is indicating. So it is the role of my committee, our committee, to ensure that we provide oversight. Because the government has not just provided the resources. They have said, these resources we are giving you, make sure that you buy desks. Ensure that you provide infrastructure, schools, classroom blocks for the schools in Zambia. Most of the
Sorry, we took a bit of some minutes before we invited you in, because we'll be going live. As you know that parliamentary work now is, unless otherwise, is public. And at this stage, without taking much of your time, I'll just want to ask you to introduce yourselves. After I introduce, we'll also introduce ourselves. Our other colleagues are attending to national duties in Kabwe with the president, so they'll also come on board later. Yeah, so you can introduce yourself now.
Yes, again, good morning, Chairperson and honorable members. My name is Akapelwa Imwiko. I'm Acting Permanent Secretary in charge of Economic Management and Finance. Thank you. My colleagues will also introduce themselves.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. My name is Msadabwe Chulu, Principal Planner under Economic Management Department.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. My name is Elai Mwansa, Senior Budget Analyst and the Minister of Finance Budget Office. Thank you.
Good morning, witness. Good morning, Chair. My name is Lloyd Dilubosha, Member of Parliament for Chifubu constituency in Ndola and a member of this committee. You are welcome.
Through your Chair, I'm Mono Mapani, Member of Parliament for Namala constituency. Good morning, witness.
Honorable Banda, are you able to get us? Okay, we'll come later. Secretariat, you can proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Good morning, witness, and welcome to the meeting. My name is Max Omwene from the Office of the Clerk, National Assembly, and the Secretariat for this committee. Chair, I have the IT personnel, please.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, witness. My name is Samuel Stemba from the Office of the Clerk. Thank you.
Thank you. And I am Emmanuel Tembo, Member of Parliament for Fera constituency, and your chairperson this morning. But I'm just sitting in for the substantive chairperson, Honorable Chushika Sandoz, not with us this morning. She's part of the team that has gone with the president. At this stage, PS and your team allow me just to confer upon you the Cap 12, which is immunity, which is granted to members of Parliament against prosecution for what they say in the House. This means that the information you give to this committee cannot be used against you outside Parliament or indeed in any court of law for as long as it's factual. However, should you deliberately or willfully mislead or misinform the committee, the same law can be used against you. I have no doubt, however, in my mind that this won't be necessary, as you won't choose to willfully mislead or misinform the committee. At this stage, I invite you to make your submission. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Chair and members. Chair, you're in line with established practice. We note that your committee resolved to scrutinize 3 bills: the Public Roads Amendment Bill of 2026, the National Council for Construction Amendment Bill, as well as the National Road Fund Bill, Amendment Bill. The ministry was requested to prepare a memorandum, which we have done and submitted to you, Chair. And in front of us, looking on page 1, we thought first we present quick high level on the objectives of the 3 bills. We did note, Chair, that the 3 bills have similar objectives and similar rationale. That is to revise the composition of the board, as well as provide for matters connected to the boards. So moving to page 2, under 2.2 and 2.3, we're just taking note of that, those objectives for each bill. Then we move to 3.0, where, Chair, we're bringing to your attention that the proposed bills have similar objectives again and rationale, which is the introduction of more private sector participation and streamlining the composition of the boards. The rationale for this is we are thinking that we note that through the introduction of the private sector participation, it is expected that there'll be more governance, enhanced governance on the boards, and we'll get more perspectives, private sector perspectives, in the running of these institutions. Streamlining the boards, the idea is it's expected that the running costs of board meetings will be reduced. So if we look at page 3, under 4.4, the ramifications, Chair, we're saying that after a thorough review, the ministry wishes to submit the following observations on the possible ramifications. Under 4.1, we are speaking on the Public Roads Amendment Bill of 2026. Under this one, we do note that the bill reduces the number of board members from 15 to 10. This is expected to reduce the board operating costs. And under B, we are saying that the proposed composition of the board also reduces the number of government representatives, while increasing the ratio of private sector representatives. This is expected to increase the private sector participation in the governance of the institution and also enhance transparency on the operations of the board. Moving to 4.2, where we're looking at the National Council for Construction Amendment Bill. Under this one, A, we're saying that the bill, we observe that the bill maintains the same number of board members at 9, but it proposes a revision on what it takes to have a quorum. Initially, the quorum was formed with 6 members attending, but the bill now proposes that the quorum can be formed at 5 members. Under B, we are just noting there that the proposed composition of the board reduces the number of government representatives, while again, through the reduction of government representatives, it enhances the ratio of private sector representatives. This is expected again to increase private sector influence on the operations of the institution. Moving to page 4, C there, we are also noting that there is a substitution of 1 representative from the Association of Contractors with a representative from a civil society organization involved in engineering. This is expected to reduce the perceived conflict of interest from contractors that are also members of the board. And we think this will enhance corporate governance. Chair, with your permission, if I can move to 4.3, which is now speaking to the National Road Fund Agency, the Amendment Bill of 2026. This bill also reduces the number of board members from 15 to 9. It's expected that through this reduction, the running cost of holding board meetings will be reduced. Basically, operating costs for the board will be reduced. We also look at B, where the proposed composition of the board is also reducing the number of government representatives while increasing the ratio of private sector representatives. It is expected that this would enhance private sector influence on the running of the institution, as well as enhance governance and transparency. Chair, on page 5, we're just concluding by noting that enhancing operations of statutory bodies and streamlining government operations of the board of directors and increasing private sector participation is welcome, and therefore, as a ministry, we support these amendments. With those few comments, Chair, I submit.
Thank you, PS, Acting PS. We are so grateful with, this brief but I think to the point submission, and I think that it will help the committee to finalize its work on the 3 bills. And actually, we are indebted to you for the thorough and work and the time that you put in. But that notwithstanding, I will invite members. Let me see if I can get colleagues who are on Zoom. Honorable Emmanuel Banda, Honorable Chushi, okay, maybe technical. Yeah, so at this stage, we just want to get some clarifications on your presentation, as well as some questions that we have, and I'll ask members that are physically present here to start the process. Yes, Honorable Mapani.
Through your chair, I'm humbled to be given this opportunity to go through the submission on the 3 bills made by the Minister of Finance. First of all, I think I'm humbled to see in the submission that the proposed number of members to manage the boards that has been reduced has been welcomed by them. I think that's the first thing. I'm really humbled. Because, if you look at the boards that are running now, of 15 members, one tend to wonder, because these boards, when they meet, there is allowances that are made. And usually when the numbers are quite big, becomes a bit difficult to get to conclusions. I'm humbled that the importance of reducing the number, you have seen it. And then you have also submitted an element of transparency, which I think is too cardinal as well when we look at issues that have to do with government. Because a couple of parastatals, evidence is there, where people are in the board and they don't even understand the objectives of that organization. I sit on the parastatal committee. I've seen a couple of boards coming, but without a proper or clear direction as to what they want or intend to achieve. So I think when the numbers are reasonable, people tend to debate and be able to conclude within the reasonable space at a reasonable cost. However, quality should not be compromised. Quality ought not to be compromised. And the element of accountability. Every institute will have a bit of some coin, or there's a budget that is allocated to them. We expect these new boards now, that now a lot of private participants have been included in these boards. We expect the national resources to be actually managed in a proper manner, unlike what we used to do or to see. But above the two elements of good governance or corporate governance, of transparency and accountability, we also expect to see the attitudes of the members who are going to be in these committees to be above board. Attitude. People should realize that the laissez-faire kind of attitude should not be tolerated. We have people to save. Our boards now, they have reached an extent where when we are told this is a board, it's as better to look elsewhere, because you know what comes in your mind, that these people are just there to attain allowances with a proper performance. So we expect these boards to perform above board, and the only thing that can drive them to do that is the good attitude, the right attitude. And they should take ownership. The element of ownership, no, even if I don't participate to my capacity or ability, I'll still knock off and I'll have my allowance. People should take ownership. This thing that I've been assigned to do, I'm doing it on behalf of the millions, Zambians. As such, let my attitude be positive. Let me take full responsibility that whatever I'm going to do should benefit the citizens who are here now and those to come. So once these things are done, well set objectives, believe me not, this country will move from where it is. The laissez-faire attitude of people should be assertive. It doesn't mean when you don't agree with your superiors, you are being rude or whatever, but as long as it's within the confines of what will drive you to achieve the goals, that's what we're looking for. The laissez-faire attitude I've already talked about, we don't need that anymore in these bodies, because these are very important bodies. We're talking of everyone ought to use roads every day. We need to sit where we are, which ought to be constructed by the people, but people ought to know that the institutes that will second their people, we need quality. We don't need people just go there to laze around. We need people who can get to work with less supervision. And once you're a board, first of all, you should take it's mine. And you have to make sure that the managers that do daily operations should be always upright. Because if you don't do that, we are gone. We had an opportunity, Chair, to do a bit of benchmarks. In Rwanda, actually, we were together. Yes. In Rwanda and Tanzania. If you look at the way they approach towards government boards, you tend to wonder, where are we? Where were we? The people are dedicated to work. And it's the reason why today, wherever you go, people praise Rwanda. It's not just anything. People are just dedicated and committed to their work. Still, again, we still saw the same thing in Ghana. When people are talking with the boards, and when you are exchanging notes with the boards, you might think actually you're doing it with the chief executive because they understand the operation of those institutions, hence the results that actually they're able to achieve. And we want that thing also to happen in Zambia. But the first thing is to make sure that we do the reforms the way we are doing. And once these bills go through and acts are enacted, we expect the institutions which will second or that will second individuals to represent us on these boards to have the composition we're looking for. We want people can sell above board, performers, people who look at having work first before what they think is theirs. And once we develop this attitude, believe me not, in a way, our Zambia will be able to move from where it is or where it was to the new heights. Because that's what we've been looking for. Being trusted by the citizens, let's perform our duties diligently. Chair, I submit.
No, thank you very much. Honorable Woza.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to find out why it is being proposed in the National Road Fund Bill that the Director of RATSA and the Director of RGA should be ex-officio members of the board.
Thank you. We'll give you 3 questions. Of course, there's a comment from Honorable Mapani. Also, you can respond to it. But before that, in all these 3 bills, one of the key objectives is to ensure that there's private sector participation. And, most of the submissions are to the effect that if we include private sector, then we'll have a balanced view of decisions that are made by the boards and therefore efficiency. Now, what disadvantages? Yeah, because I know that we've talked about the advantages of having private sector. What disadvantages, if any, that would you bring out? I think so you can respond the 3 at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I will start, and maybe my colleagues will add 1 or 2 additional points. I want to thank Honorable Mapani on your key guidance. I think the issue of transparency is important. Quality ought not to be compromised, fully recognized, and that we need to, through this process, we need to ensure that we have a better management of our national resources. We've taken guidance, again, on the fact that perhaps even our attitude needs to be reviewed. We need to be above board, and that our board members need to go in and actually own the process itself. I think the guidance is we need to move to better heights. So we have been guided, and we'll ensure to do that. With regards to the issue of yes, indeed, we see advantages, strong advantages of bringing in the private sector. The key advantage from our perspective is sometimes when you have a lot of government representation on a board, we tend to think one direction. And it's always good to have different perspectives. And we know our colleagues in the private sector are better at running businesses than our government. So I think when we bring in the private sector, indeed, we'll get some of these perspectives that we may not be seeing as typical bureaucrats. A disadvantage is maybe if at the time of vetting, the private sector that we bring on board are not properly vetted, not properly seasoned in terms of their trade. There, you could find that you spend more time teaching and educating rather than learning. But I think we are confident, given the way we are specifying where from the private sector we're going to be pulling the members from. We are pulling from private sector involved in engineering, private sector associations. We think we'll be getting the right representation. So there are disadvantages if we do poor vetting. If we do poor vetting, then we'll get garbage in, garbage out. But I think the vetting process should be strong. We should specify the qualities that we're looking for so that we get the right private sector that add value and indeed spice up the boards with this private sector perspective that sometimes has been lacking. I submit on that. Then I may ask my colleague, Mr. Chulu, to respond to the third question.
Thank you, PS.
Proceed.
Honorable Walsh, I was asking if we are adding RDA and RATSA to the board of the National Road Fund Agency. If you look at the proposed amendment and if you look at the current bill, RDA director is an ex-official on the board. But our proposal going forward is that we don't have RDA and RATSA on the board. One of the issues is if you look at the close relationship between RDA and NRFA, for instance, one is the funder to the other. So it becomes a bit difficult to have, in terms of corporate governance, you have the director of RDA also sitting on the board. So going forward, they will not be on the board, but in the current act, the director RDA sits on the board. So those are some of the changes we are trying to make to reduce the government participation or influence on the boards. I submit, Chair.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any further questions? Okay, witness, we are so grateful, and I think that your work that has been expressed in this submission is quite important to us, and we are really indebted for the time that you put in, so that this would definitely be part of our final report, which will go to the main house. I thank you and good day. Do you have any final words, perhaps?
No, Chair, save to thank you for inviting us here to also share our views. So we thank you and your committee.
Thank you very much, and I also withdraw the CAP 12, which is the immunity that is granted, which was earlier granted to you at the beginning, and so that you go freely. Thank you.
Good morning. That was the Committee on Government Assurances, with the witnesses being the Ministry of Finance and National Planning. They have had their interactions. We should be having some more committees televised right here on Parliament TV. My name is Chashin Shawusenga. My sign language interpreter is Chola Kauma. Keep watching Parliament TV as we keep bringing Parliament closer to you.
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect to DSTV Compact and GoTV Super Plus today and get the best football on us.
Just like Saka and Odegaard need to work together for the perfect play.
Rising to the occasion again.
Your subscription is also at its best when paired with DSTV Stream.
This is not a coincidence.
With DSTV Stream, you can watch live TV or catch-up box sets anywhere, anytime, on any smart device. And that's just the start of its amazing features.
Are you sure?
I think this is legit.
So whenever you want to enjoy DSTV, don't forget your free companion app, DSTV Stream. Serve goals, thrills, and high fives alongside your fries with DSTV for Business. And turn your pub, club, or restaurant into the ultimate entertainment hub with world-class live sport, breaking news, music, and so much more. Plus, with ExtraView, you can also show multiple live events at the same time. Our DSTV Play packages are tailored to meet your needs and budget. Contact us today to serve up the ultimate entertainment experience with DSTV for Business.
Good afternoon. 12:12 is the time on Parliament Radio. I'm Chashinsha Usenga. My sign language interpreter is Chola Kauma, who should later be joined on by Jason Manda. We take you to another live committee on government assurances, who are considering the National Council for Construction Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2026. Keep watching Parliament TV as we keep bringing Parliament closer to you.
In fact, let me just start also by conferring upon you the immunity before we go into the introductions. So as you appear before this committee, or indeed any other committee of government, of Parliament, to assist in the deliberations before it, you are protected under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, which grants members of Parliament immunity against prosecution for what they say while in the House. This means that the information you give to this committee cannot be used against you outside Parliament, or indeed in any court of law, for as long as it's factual. However, should you deliberately or willfully mislead or misinform the committee, the same law can be used against you in the courts of law. I have no doubt in my mind, however, that this won't be necessary, as you won't choose to willfully mislead or misinform this committee. And at this stage, allow you to just introduce yourselves, because you are the visitors. Then we introduce ourselves later. Thank you. You can proceed.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, honourable members. My name is Amon Mwemba. I'm the Director and CEO of the Road Transport and Safety Agency, and I'll ask my team to introduce themselves, starting with the gentleman on my right.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Ignatius Mioko. I'm the Acting Deputy Director for Road Transport. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Peter Muriata. I'm Legal Officer Prosecutions.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair.
You can switch off, Mr. Muriata.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. My name is Perry Hamenzu. I'm the Planning and Monitoring Officer.
Thank you. Honorable Washer.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, witness. My name is Lloyd Washer, Member of Parliament for Chifubu constituency in Ndola and a member of this committee. You are welcome.
Through you, Chair, I'm Mono Mapani, Member of Parliament for Namala constituency. Good morning, witness.
Okay. Honorable Banda, are you able to get us? Okay, this appears to be a technical hitch. They'll introduce themselves later. Secretariat, you can proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Good morning, witness, and welcome to the meeting. My name is Max Omwene from the Office of the Clerk, National Assembly of Zambia.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, witness. My name is Amos Temba from the Office of the Clerk. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm Emmanuel Tembo, Member of Parliament for Fera constituency, and the Vice Chairperson of this committee. I'm sitting in for the Chair, who is also part of the team that has gone to Kabwe, but I'll be your Chairperson this morning. CEO, at this stage, allow me just to invite you to make your submission to this committee on the 3 bills that are before us. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will just read our RATSA comments. I assume that the members have actually read through our submission. On Bill number 8 of 2026, Chair, and this bill revises the composition of the board of the Road Development Agency, including representations from ministries and professional bodies. Our recommendation, Chair, is that the provision is supported as it aims to enhance institutional representation both from the private and public sector. On Bill number 21 of 2026, which revises the composition of the board for the National Council for Construction, we are in support of this amendment, Chair. On Bill number 30 of 2026, which revises the composition of the National Road Fund Agency board and introduces representatives from various institutions. On this one, Chair, we highly recommend that the composition includes a representative from the Attorney General's office, because the National Road Fund Agency is a public institution. The representative from the Attorney General will ensure that the interests of the government are adequately represented on the NRFA board. This will highly ensure that there is effectiveness and efficiency of the board with the guidance of the Attorney General in the execution of the NRFA mandate. Generally, Chair, all 3 bills focus on restructuring of boards of respective institutions, i.e. RDA, NCC, and NRFA, and we recommend the amended bills. I submit, Chair.
Thank you, and thank you very much for your brief but the point presentation. And I believe that whilst we are happy with that presentation, perhaps members have some comments and some clarifications to make. Honorable Mapane.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Chair. Having gone through, Chair, the submission by RATSA, Chair, I'm humbled that they've seen the need for the inclusion of the Office of the Attorney General on the board that superintends over the National Road Fund Agents Board. I think it's very important all the time that we need to be transparent in what we're doing. An element of accountability is equally important, and that will help as well to bring in the issues that have to do with law, rather than just leaving a bare run for people to do what they want. However, I think there is one concern that we have observed in these submissions. We want to see a situation where our boards take full responsibility of what they do. I happen to be a member of a parastatal body committee here. You find that in most government entities, the board of directors or the boards themselves, few would really understand why they're there. And I think this is a position that we need to leave. When people are appointed, we want to see a situation where people understand why they're appointed. People should have a full understanding of the dealings of the institute they superintend over or they represent. And it's only when we do that shall we be able to deliver. We had an opportunity to get to Rwanda, Kenya, in Tanzania. We have seen how members who constitute the boards have an understanding of the entities they were entrusted to superintend over. The contrary is actually what obtains in most of our boards in Zambia. People will only get there for allowances, and as long as the allowance and the ticket is ticked, then it's enough. And these have driven our entities to fail to perform. Now, with these bills that have been presented before Government Assurance Committee, and the submissions that we have made, you are to us as witnesses, we should further look at the issue of attitude. If we don't do that, we'll still be where we were years back. People should learn to take full interest by taking full responsibility of their obligations. Further, we expect people to sail above board. This has nothing to do with partisan, but it has all to do with the service to the people of Zambia. And this is what we expect the institutions that have been mandated to second their members to these bodies, that they have to sail above borders. Because if we don't do that, we will take it as business as usual, and the laissez-faire attitude will still prevail. Then at the end of the day, despite setting goals and reducing the costs of the members of the board from 15 to 10 or to 11, we'll still get a zero, because the attitude is not even. So it's our appeal that these institutions, the ministries, who have been mandated to nominate members to sit on these bodies, the members will sail above board. They'll have an understanding of the institute that they are going to help, and further, they should be in a position to execute their obligations within the confines of the law, knowing very well the people of Zambia are expecting best out of them, unlike the way it was before. Chair, I submit.
Thank you very much for that submission. Indeed, witness, we, the concern of the committee, and which I believe government, is that to ensure that these boards, they're really effective. And I think we appreciate the proposals we've made, and it starts with the composition. Yeah. Now, you have proposed very well that in the National Roads Fund Agency, being a public institution, we include a member or a representative of the Attorney General. Now, there's also another view. Of course, because this, there are legal, they interact with legal issues in their day-to-day. Now, we include also a Law Association of Zambia representative. In other words, a lawyer from the Law Association of Zambia, which is basically civil side. And Attorney General, we're talking about a government lawyer who's more or less like the other civil. Which one do you think would really be the best between a representative of the Law Association of Zambia or the representative of the Attorney General? Thank you. You can respond those two as we wait for.
Chair, I'll start with the last question first. Yeah. I think that if I had a choice between Laz and the Attorney General's office, I would go for the Attorney General's office, primarily because this is a government institution, and the Attorney General's office are familiar with government processes and how the acts apply to government institutions. I mean, NRFA is set out by an act of parliament, and they would be in a better position to interpret. This is not to say that, you know, when you look at the private sector, which is what LAS represents, that they wouldn't have a contribution. They certainly do have a contribution. But in my opinion, I think, and it is the opinion of the agency, is that if I had a choice, I would put them at a committee level, board committee level, and I would put the Attorney General's level at full board, the Attorney General's office at full board level. So if I had a choice, that way then both of them would contribute towards certain outcomes of the board. Now, I do agree with the honourable member that, I have been on the wrong end of boards that do not understand exactly what they're there for. Much as we do conduct board inductions and we try and introduce them to the way boards operate and the way the institution operates, sometimes there's an attitude problem in the sense that there's a lack of commitment. I mean, for me as CEO, for example, in my agency, I look forward to serious contributions at the policy level by the board, and at times there is a guidance that is lacking in terms of what the board members do contribute to guide us as management in terms of how the institution needs to achieve certain goals. We obviously have set targets that are, on the financial side set by the Ministry of Finance, and on the safety side that are set by our own ministry, the Ministry of Transport. And we do a decent job of trying to achieve these targets, but we look at the board to give us oversight and to give us guidance where they think we could improve what we are planning. And sometimes that is lacking. And this is primarily due to a lack of people taking responsibility for being board members. Like the honourable member has put it there, sometimes you get the impression that they come there for the allowance and nothing else. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. CEO and the rest, unless there's something you'd like to add, Mr. Muliata, nothing?
Anything?
All right, okay. No, thank you very much. I think your submission has been taken note of, including your verbal additions.
Yes.
We think that really the committee will benefit from it, and we are indebted to your efforts and the time you put in, in order to make this submission.
Thank you.
And of course, like you said, it's only the amendment relates only to the composition of the body, just to make it effective. So there wasn't much more than that. At this stage, I just want to withdraw the CAP 12 and just, to thank you and to wish you a good day for the rest of, the working hours that we are remaining with. And at this stage, I'll also invite you just to give us some closing remarks or some, final remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. It's always a pleasure to appear before these committees and to look forward to some of these submissions that we make being implemented. And I have no doubt that we are taken seriously when we do come here. We do certainly take the committees very, very seriously, because we know that that's how Parliament achieves what it wants to achieve. and thank you again for inviting us to submit.
That was an interaction between the Committee on Government Assurances and Road Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA, being the witness there. Remember, this committee is considering different bills. Some of the bills are the National Council for Construction Bill, which is National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2026. The other bill is the National Road Fund Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 30 of 2026. The last bill is the Public Road Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 8 of 2026. So the interactions between Road Transport and Safety Agency has been concluded. That happens to be the last witness of today. Earlier on, we had the Minister of Finance and National Planning making their submissions and having an interaction with the Committee on Government Assurances. I'm Chashinsha Wusenga. My sign language interpreters have been Chola Kauma and Jason Manda. Keep watching Parliament TV as we keep bringing Parliament closer to you.
The Vice President's question time.
Questions for oral answer understanding order number 76.
A matter to be admitted, it has to be of recent occurrence.
Continue watching Parliament TV, a channel dedicated to bring Parliament closer to you.